Next, we're going over our tibia. Remember, the bones of our lower leg consist of the tibia, which is that bigger medial bone, and the fibula, which is that lateral smaller bone. So now we're on to the tibia. Remember, the tibia is also known as our shin bone. We have a right and left, one on each side. It lies medial to our fibula because this is a right leg. So this is our lateral fibula. This is our medial tibia. So it lies medial to the fibula. Something to note about our tibia is it's expanded at its upper end and it's expanded at its lower end. It starts to get smaller in the middle body portion. So it's expanded at the upper and expanded at its lower ends. And our tibia lies close to our skin surface. So a lot of times when we hit our leg or something, we hit our shin, we're hitting this front portion of our tibia. You can roll your finger down your leg and you can feel your tibia. You can feel that ridge of bone right there. Okay, so some parts on the tibia that we need to know. We're going to start at the top, at the proximal end. I'm going to bring it closer. So first, we're going to have our medial condyle. Remember, that's the medial part of the upper expanded end of the tibia. So our medial condyle is going to be right here on the medial side. Then we are going to have our lateral condyle. This is the lateral part of the upper expanded end of the tibia. So this is our lateral condyle. Then we have our intercondylar eminence. This is a small double-pointed process on the proximal end of the tibia, located between the articular surface of the medial and lateral condyles. So I'm going to turn it, and you can see right here. This is your intercondylar eminence. Then we have our tibial tuberosity. You can also feel this slightly below your patella, slightly below your kneecap. You can feel another little notch on the front of your leg. That is your tibial tuberosity. And it's this piece that pokes out right here. It's a small rounded prominence on the anterior surface of the tibia below our condyles. It can be felt through the skin. Then we have our fibular articular surface. So think of the word fibular articular surface. A small, smooth, rounded area on the posterolateral border of the lateral tibial condyle. It articulates with the head of the fibula. So if I turn my leg and show you the posterior portion, so now we're looking at it from behind. So this is the medial condyle, this is the lateral condyle. You know this is lateral because it's close to the fibula, and you know the fibula is the lateral bone. Okay, so we have our fibular articular surface, which is just going to be this surface right here, located on our tibia, that is there articulating with our fibula. Okay, so it's that joint space, that surface right there where these two bones are meeting. That would be our fibular articular surface. We just can't see it how we want because the fibula is in the way. But imagine if the fibula was off, we'd be able to see this smooth articular surface located on the tibia bone, which is the area that it's articulating with our fibula. Okay, then we move down to the long, sturdy part that becomes flattened as it approaches down by the ankle, and this is the body of our, wrong bone. This is the body of our tibia, okay? Remember, our tibia is expanded at the top, expanded at the bottom, and this portion right in the middle is the body of the tibia. So you can start to see how it starts to become flattened out as it starts to approach the expanded lower end. Okay, so now we're at the distal, the lower end of our tibia. So we know that this is the medial side. We know that this is the lateral side because it's close to our fibula. So on this distal end, we're going to talk about the inferior articular surface. This is a four-sided smooth surface on the distal end of the tibia. It articulates with the talus and forms the ankle joint. So this surface right here, underneath, right here where the screw is located, this surface right here is our inferior articular surface. This is helping to form the ankle joint and is articulating with our talus. We'll learn about the talus when we go over ankle bones, okay? So on the distal end of our tibia, this inferior surface right here is our inferior articular surface, and we will learn that it is articulating with the talus of our ankle bones. Then on this end, we're going to have our medial malleolus. So just like the fibula, remember we had our lateral malleolus that we can feel. On our tibia, we're going to have our medial malleolus. So it projects down from the medial margin of the distal end of the tibia. It goes about a half an inch below the level of the ankle joint. It forms a large prominence that you can see and you can feel. So if you feel down by your ankle, you can feel our medial and your lateral malleoli, okay? So you can physically feel them. Then the last part we need to know is our fibular notch, a concave depression on the lateral surface of the tibia, just above the ankle joint. It articulates with the medial border of the lower fibula to help form the distal tibiofibular joint. All right, so down here on our tibia, we have a notch located in here, okay? Might be able to see it from the back. So there's actually a notch down here. That is called our fibular notch. So that notch that is located on the medial margin of our tibia is there to articulate with our fibula, okay? So pretend that if you remove this bone, if you remove the fibula, you would see a notch on the tibia. That notch is where it is articulating with the distal end of the fibula, okay? So that is it for tibia.